What role can racket sports play in fostering innovation, inclusion, and soprattutto sustainability?
Yeah, no, I think innovation, Padel, from my point of view, has absolutely ridden the wave of innovation from the very beginning, at least in the new markets. When you look at the apps, the matchmaking apps, like what we've seen with Playtomic, but also we've seen a new layer of gamification on top of that. You know, everyone who's tried to learn a new language knows about Duolingo and the way they give you rewards and they try and incentivize you to keep staying on there, and you hear the little pings in the presence. It's addictive. And so I think the gamification of Padel and Padel Play is probably a really interesting area. I've seen an app called Tenni, Tenni, that's really exploring that space. So I think that's going to be like another area. But also, I think Bill mentioned, like, what are we talking about in terms of streaming on court? Can we do analytics for just normal performers? What can we do in terms of live scoring? We can really embrace the opportunity that technology unlocks. So I think Padel for sure is in the front line, and there's no reason that tennis and pickleball and other sports shouldn't be doing the same. In terms of sustainability, I think it's a bit tricky to start off talking about sustainability when you're talking about, you know, old tennis balls, clothes being thrown into landfill, the costs of electricity. Also on the professional tour, you know, when I worked on the ATP tour as a board director, we were always aware of the fact that we were using a lot of water bottles and we were flying all over the place every week with, you know, tens, if not hundreds of people crisscrossing across the planet. So it's a difficult place to start from, but I think equally there's nothing stopping clubs and federations really embracing the ability to send a message to their consumers, to their players, to their fans about how important it is to do what you can, and whether it is in terms of using water drop bottles and not having to use a new bottle every time, or whether it's using, I've seen a few of the stands where you've got recycled paddle balls. I think that would be a great thing. If they play as well as the original, I would love to embrace that. I think it's really powerful. So it's not just about doing the right thing, but also you can promote the right thing and try to be an ambassador for better behaviors.
Alex, I've got one for you. You're based in the UK now, right? So I'm going to say something very obvious, but for paddle, maybe it's hard in the UK since of the weather. It's not sunny like in Miami or in Spain. So when it comes to building a club, you cannot build an outdoor court, or at least you're not going to be able to use it during 9 months. Do you think that that factor is maybe one of the biggest challenges that has the sport to grow for the future?
Yeah, look, I think if you look at the countries that have done really well, I'm going to put Sweden to one side for a second, but you know, whether it's Spain, Argentina, Miami, LA, yes, Middle East, they have something in common. And it's that you've got a year-round opportunity to play outdoors. I think it does make a difference. We do see a lot of courts, outdoor courts, being built in the UK. Whether that is, I think there's a positive to that, which is accessibility, because they tend to be cheaper, because the capex at the front end is usually lighter. So it gives the opportunity for people to play 6 months, if I'm feeling generous about British weather, a year. But I think we've also seen a lot of indoor, and it doesn't just have to be warehousing, it can be canopies. So there's a lot of opportunities indoors and outdoors in the UK, and there's a huge interest in the sport. I mean, having spoken to a lot of entrepreneurs and investors for my podcast, the British market really is very frothy. You're seeing David Lloyd, who is one of the biggest leisure chains in the UK, now really embracing and having very significant ambitions around building paddle courts at their existing tennis and rackets facilities. You've got standalone clubs like Stratford, Paddle Social Club, Club de Padel in Manchester. There's loads of these places being created. So it definitely puts us slightly on the back foot, but I don't think it's hampered the enthusiasm that those who have tasted the sport, loved the sport, and want to go in on it, whether that's players, whether that's investors, whether that's entrepreneurs, it's still a very frothy market.
Thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you.
And yeah, if we don't have questions, that's the way we'll finish today's round.
Just wanted to thank Selena and the entire team because they made this happen. It's been a work for months, and they deserve some claps too.